anyone into more trouble than I think you are in more trouble than I can imagine actually your life. Yeah. But I was thinking about this issue here of torture, and you know, I told myself,
he was at the peak of his career. Who did not like that?
Is this just...
I'll say it was a hit. Where is the mastermind?
Hello, members of the Court of Public Opinion. Welcome to the Great Awakening channel. I am your host, Mrs. Independent, aka I am not a lawyer. Members of the Court of Public Opinion, thank you so much for the love and support that you have shown on a previous video of Elton Hart where he was doing an analysis. Thank you, guys. Please keep the love, keep the likes. Let's challenge ourselves to get 1,000 likes. And yeah, thank you so much. I appreciate your support. Now, today I want us to talk about torture. I was listening to this podcast, Just Talk with DJ Cappuccino. It is a real eye-opening. I would like you to take some time and go and watch the full the full video. So I will leave the link on the description box so that you can watch the full video. But firstly, before we get into that interview, let's take a lesson on how Kininda managed to get the confessions from accused 1 and 2 immediately, like a day or two after they were arrested.
My biggest fear is being tortured for something I don't know anything about. And then, you know,
that's a challenge that any of us can face at any day. So they can say too much. They want to frame you. Life is very unfair. They can frame and pin you to something that you don't know. But when everyone says things, it appears as if I can.
So for the first time then, my lord, now we had 2 possible suspects, and this is where, and I dealt with it, I think also in the trial, within trial, the cold case analysis around them, meaning now accused 1 and 2 started.
But see nabasodo ababili ilapho ke saqala khona ke ukuthi siyo funisisa ukuthi bathinteka kanjani.
And that resulted in a number of cases being picked up under accused number 1, which I then took a decision that I'll assign those matters to Sergeant Mohola to investigate those matters, and matters coming out under accused number 2, those matters were then assigned to Sergeant Mohane to say he must look at them while we were focusing on this main case, my lord.
Manje-ke kwathi-ke kulaba soda ababili ngacabanga ukuthi-ke kukhona amacala amaningi ayevumbuka ngagcina ngiqoke uSergeant Mohula ukuthi ayobheka amacala avumbuka mayelana nomsola wokuqala kulo wesibili komsola ngabeka uSergeant Mohane ukuthi akube uyena ohlola lamacala avumbukayo.
You see, but also
been there for 30 years.
Yeah, is that guy who relies on Chogabat to get information, who does not rely on any other method. Now, we need more sophisticated investigators.
Yes, and as I was telling you, my biggest fear is being tortured for something I don't know anything about. And then, you know,
that's a challenge that any of us can face at any day. So they can say too much. They want to frame you.
Yes, you may proceed.
Yes, my lord. So like I said, I'm not sure should I deal with now the confession because
Yes, we can now deal with the events of the 30th of May 2020.
Yes.
30th of May 2020.
Yes. So now fast tracking to that date, my lord, I received a call from Sergeant Mohola to say his accused 1 has been arrested in relation to that matter.
Ngoba ke ngathola ke umbiko ovela ku Sergeant Mkhola othi ke umsolo oqala wayeseboshiwe eboshele mayelana nalelo cala.
Which matter?
Tembisa case, the drug dealing in drugs under Tembisa case 217 of 3/2019.
Wayecala liziyobisi laseThembisa 217 of 5/2019.
And I may also add, my lord, that I was also briefed that in the midst of, I think, the search of him or something around those lines, that there were ammunitions that were found. So in that briefing, I was also told that they also found him with unlicensed ammunition.
Futhi ke kuthiwa ke kulolu phenyo babesolenza ngaye nakuboshwa kwakhe kwakutholakala nezinhlamvu zesibhamu ezatholakala kuyena.
Yes. You've already testified in detail during the trial within a trial.
Yes.
As to the events of the 30th of May 2020. But can you maybe just with a broad brush just highlight your evidence regarding the events of the 30th of May 2020?
My lord, what I can then say is that I was informed that they were going to force us to follow up on the other matters against accused one. I then requested them to meet me at the police station so that I can interview him myself with regard to the reporting that I received that he seems to be making some form of admission in relation to this matter before court.
Thinking about this issue here of torture, and you know, I told myself, you coming to this interview, I'm going to avoid talking about Matlanga ad hoc.
That's good.
And
That's
Mkhwanazi.
good.
But I'm so tempted to just share my thoughts a little bit, because I think the way Ba explaining how the PKTT worked, Mkhwanazi, I think they had leverage and unsupervised freedom to do what they want. And I have a feeling that they could have tortured one or two or thousands of people looking for what they wanted. And some of these people were innocent.
So, as an academia, there's something called bracketing. Bracketing means I'll put aside my personal knowledge. I know the things you are talking about. I know the answers. I know the realities. But I'll bracket my personal knowledge. So I'll rely on whatever evidence that's brought in my face. You know, when a judge is listening to a matter, they say, we went to this guy, we interviewed him, he started telling us this. The judge has been there. He knows that there's no way that a sophisticated criminal
Can just
voluntarily start talking about some of the things that no one is asking. So even the judge, although he knows that it's very unlikely, he reserves his knowledge. Because, of course, if no one brings it up, he does not ask about it. Because there's that formal procedure, proceedings. Yeah, some of them, obviously, they did not wake up and say, I'm going to say things that are not known voluntarily to the law enforcement. There was some pressure that was exerted, of which nature we don't know.
My lord, after meeting him, obviously one embarked on the formalities in terms of the constitutional rights and so forth. It was clear that indeed he was willing freely, without any duress, to make confession. And subsequent to that, Colonel Mboto was then arranged to assist with the taking down of the confession.
And
yeah, but when you're a detective, how many times have you fell through him? Here, I need to press here.
hey, Constitution protects everyone against self-incrimination. So